All right, let's talk about debugging our own minds. Today, we're going to run a little diagnostic. We're going to explore this idea that all our inner turmoil, all that stress and anxiety, it isn't some personal failure. It's more like a software problem, a bug that, with the right approach, we can actually fix.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You fall down a rabbit hole for an hour, maybe two, scrolling, playing a game. And it feels pretty good in the moment. But the second you put your phone down, this weird, empty feeling washes over you. Maybe even a little guilt. And you're just left thinking, ugh, what did I even just do with my time? Well, here's a thought. What if that feeling isn't a flaw in your character? What if it's not actually you? What if it's just a predictable bug in your mental operating system? A little glitch that gets pleasure confused with real peace. A bug that, once you know how it works, you can totally debug. So let's get into it. What is this bug exactly? And where does it even come from? Well, it all starts with a single, really fundamental mistake in how we see the world.
Okay, so there's a technical term for this bug. It's called superimposition. It's basically our mind's habit of taking its own feelings, like happiness or anxiety, and just splashing them all over things that are totally neutral, totally inert. We're projecting our feelings onto the world around us, and that creates a really, really powerful delusion. And this, right here, this is the absolute heart of it. We think an app is what's making us happy, or that some event is making us stressed. But those things, they're just blank screens. We're the projectors. The source of the feeling, it was always and will always be inside our own mind.
Want to go a layer deeper on this? Think of your mind like a cold iron ball. On its own, it has no heat, right? It's just inert. But if you put that ball on a fire, it soaks up the heat and starts glowing red hot. Well, our mind is that iron ball, and our feelings are the heat it borrows from consciousness. Just knowing that helps us detach a little from its temporary, heated-up states.
So this leads to a pretty incredible conclusion. If all the chaos, the anxiety, the cravings, if that's all just a bug, just a temporary delusion, then what's left when we debug it? What's underneath all that noise? Well, what's left is our default state, and that state is peace. And check this out. This slide lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the false I. That's the voice of the bug. It says things like, I am stressed, completely fusing your identity with a passing emotion. But the real I, your actual nature, that's the observer. It's the permanent background of peace that just watches the stress show up and then fade away. So the whole thing boils down to this. The bug has two main parts. First, there's identification. I am this feeling. And second, there's ownership. This feeling is mine. When we watch a video we like, the bug whispers, I am happy watching this, and this happiness is mine, and it's coming from this video. That is the delusion right there in action. Okay, so we've found the bug, we know how it works. Now, how do we run the antivirus? Let's walk through a really clear, structured way of thinking to do exactly that. This is pretty much our mental checklist for the whole debug process. You start by just reminding yourself, peace is your factory setting. Then you spot the bug in action, that voice saying, I am this. You consciously make a distinction between the real observing I and that false emotional I. And when you do that, you naturally stop looking for happiness from outside stuff, which lets your true, calm nature just come to the surface. And I really want to stress this next point. This is not about punishing yourself. It's not about forcing anything. Some of those extreme practices, like intense fasting or causing yourself pain, they're often just the ego playing another game. Real, lasting progress comes from a gentle awareness. It's about seeing the bug clearly, not beating yourself up because it's there. Okay, that's the theory, but let's get even more practical. What do you actually do in the moment when a craving hits or you feel that anxiety bubble up? Here is a simple but really powerful toolkit you can use. So the whole framework kicks off with A for awareness, and the first step is so simple. You just pause and notice your body. That's it. Are your shoulders all hunched up? Are you leaning forward into your screen? The very act of noticing, not even trying to fix it, just noticing, allows that physical tension to start releasing all on its own. Next up is W for withdraw. After you notice your body, you intentionally pull your senses inward. See, your senses are constantly feeding your mind data, triggering old habits and cravings.
By consciously pulling back from the outside world, even for just a second, you stop feeding that machine.
And the second A stands for abolish. In that little bit of space you've just created, you actively abolish the identification with that false I. A really simple way to do this is with an affirmation. Instead of getting stuck on the tiny thought of, I want this, you shift your focus way out with a big thought like, may there be peace for all. You're basically replacing that small, craving self with a much bigger, more open awareness.
And finally, we have R for relaxation. But here's the key. This isn't something you do. It's the natural result of the first 3 steps. Once you've become aware, withdrawn your senses, and abolished that diluted thought, calm just shows up. Your only job is to let it happen. Just allow the stillness to manifest without you getting in the way.
Now, what happens when you start doing this consistently? When you practice this, a really profound shift begins to happen in how you experience your life moment to moment. And really, this is what it's all about. You stop being a stressed out actor all tangled up in the drama of your own thoughts and feelings. Instead, you get to take a seat in the audience. You become the calm observer, just watching the show of your mind with this detached curiosity, with peace. And hey, if you need a little more proof that the pleasure isn't really in the object itself, just ask yourself this. Do you crave TikTok or video games or chocolate 24/7? Of course you don't. See, if the pleasure was actually in the thing, you'd want it constantly. The fact that the craving comes and goes proves it's just a temporary mental state, a diluted projection. So, I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. If your anxiety, your cravings, all those racing thoughts, if they're all just clouds passing through the sky, then who or what is the sky itself? Who is that silent, unchanging awareness that's just watching it all happen? Because that's the real you.